Go. Hello, Assalamualaikum. Today is our reading group presentation video. My name is Abdul. Together with me is Amman, Hanis, Athirah, and Syafiqah Karnaen. The topic that we've chosen today is the importance of social interactions within academical studies to various aspects. We have chosen this topic because the situation that we are in today, online learning requires both the effort of students and teachers to make the learning sessions held more fun and productive. I would like to highlight that social interactions can make the learning experience more beneficial. To put it simply, social interactions is the active exchange between two or more people, be it verbally or through gestures. I would like to emphasize that social interactions is not just supposed to be beneficial, but also effective in learning.
Thank you, Amsha, for the introduction that acts to kickstart our video presentation. Now that we are done with that, let's hop into the first point of this topic. Social interaction can lead to a better understanding of the topics discussed. This is because when students interact among themselves, more discussions will be held. And from these discussions, students are able to gain more knowledge because different perspectives and different views from different people are being voiced. Hence, learning is not limited to only when students are in their classroom with their teachers. There are 3 examples and evidence that can be found from the articles that we have studied, which are from Article 1, Article 3, and Article 4. The first example, which is in Article 1, mentioned of how social interaction can help to enhance critical thinking and expand comprehension as well as retention. 2 students agreed that social interaction helps them to think better as well as remember longer. The second example, which can be found in Article 3, mentioned of how having discussions is an excellent way for students to create something or to make meaning by comparing and contrasting various perspectives of a content. Having discussions is also one of the most effective ways for students to become aware of the various interpretations which is possible in the area of intellectual inquiry. As for the final example, which can be found from Article 4, it mentioned of how social interaction can encourage students to learn how to address things and how they want people to view things. Other than that, it also promotes language that people want to engage with and that people are persuaded by. Hence, from all of the examples of situations and evidence that have been said, it is clear that from social interaction, students can enhance their critical thinking, which in return would prepare themselves for higher order thinking skills questions during an examination. On to the next point. For teachers, social interaction helps them to solve the challenges that they often face. Before incorporating social interaction in classrooms, it is important for teachers to first experience this by themselves. This is because teachers often face challenges originating from student needs and parents. To solve these challenges, it is important for them to have a thorough understanding in various subject areas. And to achieve that, teachers have to interact among other teachers because different educators have different experience in the teaching field. One example to this can be found in Article number 5. It mentioned of how teachers can learn how to reflect on their own efforts and develop problem-solving skills regarding any number of potential problems. Furthermore, teachers need to use reflection to evaluate and inform their practices and use collaboration to negotiate effective interactions among themselves, among parents, students, as well as administrations. That is all from me that I have to share. I hope that you have learned something from my part of this topic. On to the next group member.
Right, okay, so first things first is I really want to be quick because I'm in electrical and I don't feel safe in here. So I'm going to present the third point for the crewmate, which is social interaction in academic studies can help students to actually foster soft skills. So how does actually that work? I'm gonna talk to you about it, so stick around with me. So first things first is actually, oh wow, someone messed with the lights. Oh, back? Okay, good. Because I fixed the lights and I ran away as fast as possible. I did not want to be in there. Let's not waste any more time and let's get cracking on this point. So first things first, the main question, what is soft skills really is? So to answer your curiosity, soft skills are just basically personal attributes that allow people, or in this case students, to interact more effectively and harmoniously with the people around them. The examples of soft skills are time management, team building, and the most important part is communication. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to touch on is the correlation between social interaction in academic studies and the soft skills themselves. So like I've mentioned earlier, those two actually requires human interaction. So if we think about it closely, it's pretty obvious how social interaction can actually lead to fostering soft skills. If the teachers themselves is able to establish this kind of atmosphere, this kind of active learning condition in the classroom, where students are able to actually mingle and talk and communicate with one another, it can help the students to learn hands-on how to actually execute those kind of social interaction, which cannot be taught just by papers and theories. This kind of stuffs can be taught and learned by the students effectively with them actually doing it. So as time goes on in the future, with more exposure in the classroom from the teachers establishing those kind of conditions, the students can learn and they will know what to do the next time they are in the same shoes. Right, so last thing that I'm gonna talk about is the benefits of soft skills themselves to the students and why it is actually good for them to have it. To put it simply, with having great soft skills, they are able to give good impressions to others when they meet new people, and later in the working world they will have a greater chance of being employed because they have the attributes needed for them to function properly in the working world, which is the communication, the team building, and all of that stuff. Those are the things that the employers looks in the employees that they are going to hire. So overall, it is undeniable that soft skills are very, very beneficial for the students, whether it is in the short term, as in the classroom, or all the way long term from when they are going to work. Either ways, it is very beneficial for them because at the end of the day, they will have the better end of the stick, or so one would say. What matters is the social interaction that happens in the classroom from when they are still young, when they are still a student. Early exposure allows them to grow and learn from one step to the other, suitable with their age. Overall, that's all from me, and Miss is here. I guess I'm dead.
My point for this topic is social interactions can help teachers teach academically challenged students better. As we all know, in the schooling system, there are some students who are not interested in studying, or some who are not fond of the orthodox ways of teaching. That's why teachers need to adopt social interactions to teach these academically challenged students better. Firstly, social interactions will make the learning sessions held more fun and interactive for the students, so they become more interested and engaged. For example, how many times have you almost fallen asleep in history class? Yeah, am I right? Some students may not enjoy the bland style of teaching of some teachers. That is why teachers need to mix things up a little to make the class more fun and exciting. For example, teachers can do interactive quizzes for the students. This way, students will compete with one another, and a competitive atmosphere will be present within the class. Teachers can also give away prizes to students who do well in these quizzes, so students can become more motivated to study harder. Secondly, having students study in groups helps them more actively participate in the learning process. As students study in groups, they will be interacting with other people from the class. Through this, they will be exchanging knowledge and information and also experience that they have gained in the classroom. Through this, students get to learn in an interactive environment. Lastly, the dropout rate can be reduced. In Malaysia, the dropout rate is 0.35%. They may not seem a lot in percentage, but when you do the numbers, it's a lot of people. So when the learning environment is fun and interactive, less students will be uninterested with studying and less will be likely to drop out from school. I think that's all from me. Moving on.
Assalamualaikum Raul.
Oh, hello. I am Amman. And for point number 5, social interaction can help students to be more comfortable in online classes. Thus, students will give more responses since they feel relaxed enough around teachers and lecturers. Even some students may be afraid to give responses to teachers or even lecturers, and they cannot give their best when it comes to learning and studying. Plus, by having different groups with different members, students may interact differently as they have different level of understandings on a certain subject. For example, I personally think that I understand different subjects differently. Look at these subjects that I study. I have been struggling on certain subjects since I interact differently in different classes. This happened because I have different lectures and the way they do lecture is also different, and that is why I feel different, depending on how interactive the lecture is. However, classmates and lectures really help me a whole lot, visually and physically. Look at this message. These texts and interaction actually make me feel better in every way. That is why social interaction is crucial for studies to help students and lecturers. And see ya somewhere else. Hehe. Oh, here we go again. I need to conclude everything. Social interaction needs to be more well implemented in our academic studies to ensure that both teachers and students are able to get the most out of learning session. Merely reading the material and answering questions are not enough to gain knowledge. Actually, without social interaction, your life can be empty. So, you can actually make better choices by having more interaction with your classmates and lecturers. Thank you.
So that was all for our group's presentation video. So Miss, If you found any flaws in our presentation or anything that you may find unhappy with, just know it wasn't us, it was Pa'an.
I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky, and all that I can see is just a yellow lemon tree. I'm turning my head up and down. I'm turning, 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 turning around, and all that I can see is just another lemon tree. Sing da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee dee da. I'm sitting here, I miss the power. I'd like to go out, taking a shower, but there's a heavy cloud inside my head. I feel so tired, put myself into bed. Well, nothing ever happens, and I wonder